Hi, it's Leslie, and we're talking about Thousand Pound Sisters. And we're talking about Amy's new budding romance. That would be with Brian, the older gentleman who I actually like, I think. They're 1 month in, and they are moving fast. Brian wants Amy to move in, and I'm just like, why? Why so fast? It makes me a little suspicious because he's moving so fast. You never know what these people want.
Brian's actually asked me to move in with him.
You've lost your damn mind.
I just want you to be careful.
I don't understand how you could even consider moving in with somebody that you ain't been with longer than 6 weeks. I think you're up royally.
Well, that's clear how he feels about it. Anyway, so the sisters decide to spend a nice girls' day out at the lake, with Amanda's kids, of course, her boys, chit-chatting and catching up on everything. And everyone's talking about the romances, and everyone feels Amy is just moving too freaking fast. And here's Tammy's, I guess Amy's track record leaves a little to be desired, so they're all very nervous about this latest romance.
Amy is the hoe. We established that.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying Amy's a hoe, but before Michael, her bed never stayed cold.
Kind of sounds like you're calling her a hoe. Sounds like it to me. I mean, don't you think, Tammy? Yeah, I think you are calling her out. But that's okay. You know what? You do what you got to do. But then this was just kind of sad because it's a little insight. It's like, why is Amy just so not okay with just being alone? And she's not even alone. She has her family so close. She has her boys. Why isn't she happy just being like me, myself, and I, like for a little bit? But it seems like she just needs another person to be with. And here's a little insight into that.
Amy and I both have a hard time not rushing into relationships. I think it's because me and Amy kind of grew up just having us. Mom was working, all the older siblings were out of the house with their own families, so now she's rushing into a relationship because she's looking for love that she wasn't getting growing up.
I actually kind of believe this because, you are shaped from what happens to you when you're a child, and that stuff takes so long to fix if you're not in active therapy and all the things. So I am not doubting that she's still searching for something that's been missing from her childhood. And now she has a father figure. So it's off for another lovely date for Brian and Amy, and they go axe throwing. It's like all those country things that you hear about. I mean, I guess they have them around here. I never did this. But you'd think they just axe throw for regular kind of like chopping up wood and stuff. You'd have to do that. But whatever. They're doing it inside axe throwing. And again, Brian pushing the issue.
Things are going great. I mean,
Things are going really great.
so will you move in with me?
Yeah, will ya? Huh? And at least Amy is thinking about her boys, because that really should be her number one priority, because that is not fair to them. You bring another person in and they feel that absence is, God forbid it doesn't work out and then that person's gone. They've already suffered, with the dad not being around. Like, you got to think of the boys. And so she is. I guess she's thinking about all the baby proofing has to happen, all the things in the house. But you know what? He's got a bigger house because he has a job. He has a job, we learned. Yay. Low freaking bar. But he has a job. Sounds like he has a nice house, better school system, better sports, better activities, all the pluses. Seems like it'll be better off for her kids. And then Amy.
So, will you move in with me?
Even though it's a little early in our relationship to move in, I'm willing to try it.
And she concedes. She concedes. We knew it was coming. I mean, the guy was just like on her, And, but at least she's thinking about her boys. So it's not going to happen until that house is baby proofed. I guess he has a pool in back. That is just scary to me. That is scary. It's all got to happen before they move in. So that's at least buys a little time. Because wouldn't you need like a whole freaking fence around the pool? I'm thinking that would take some time. But anyway, but I tell you, they do all these dates and it all involves her kids, which maybe they're just showing us that, but I love that. I love that about him. I mean, it's not just like he wants Amy alone. He realizes she is a package deal. She comes with her boys and love this. And they spend or try to spend a wonderful day out at the zoo. I guess it's kind of a zoo like that you drive through, like a safari. And the animals, usually they're like, don't roll down the windows, at least the ones I've been to. But no, you can roll down the windows here and you can actually feed them. So that's the kind of zoo they're cruising through with the boys in the back in their car seats. And then tragedy struck. Holy frickin' shit. I just, what?
What do you say?
He leaked on me.
What do you think? You like this safari park? Jesus Christ.
He got me good. He got me good.
Like, what? You'd think these animals would be so docile. Like, did she, like, piss them? Like, she shouldn't be able to piss them off. How can you not have? They're doing this every single day. They know that people have food. Why in the world would you bite the hand that feeds? I mean, isn't that, like, the most basic thing? Crazy. And then, of course, they show it. They show the clip. He really just took a chunk, and you could see the fat blubber. Thank God this was after the weight loss surgery, or he would have got Lord only knows the chunk he could have got, but whatever. Here, I'm going to insert a pic because they did too. But I have to say, again, with my horrendous judge of character, I loved Brian in this moment. He was such a take charge kind of guy. He remained calm. He was like, put pressure on it, hold your arm up. Like, he seemed to like he did all the things. He was like not freaking out because she was freaking out. And I get that. Someone's got to be calm. He was calm. You have kids in the back, and he was just like, we need to get help. We need to get you to the hospital. He was wonderful, all about taking care of her. Love him in this moment. Yes. Unfortunately, that did not last. But what would a little tragedy be without some good comic relief from the siblings? They never miss an opportunity to laugh at someone else's tragedy. Yep. And this was no different.
How's the bitch get bit by a camel?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
The bitch done got bit by a camel, man.
Oh, good God.
Camel bit out of her.
What is that laying beside it?
That's a piece of fatty tissue. It bit her down to the white meat. And that ain't no bull. Just took a big plug out of her arm.
I have to say, it did look like it was oozing out. It almost looked like you punctured the bag and it was like so in there tight. It just bursted out. Like it just, And I was like, oh God, never seen that before.
Fatty tissue is hanging and dangling.
It was. It actually was. Oh, and Tammy. Tammy didn't miss her moment either.
It's like eating chicken with the extra skin crispy. There was some secret sauce on it. It was spicy.
So as they're getting their good old laughs on, Amy is going to the hospital to get stitches in to push the fat back in and get it sewed up and all the things. And somewhere along the line, something happened. And that would be that Brian, lovely dude that I liked, got arrested for having pot in the car. I'm like, what? With kids, you have pot in the car? And I had a couple thoughts right off the bat. I was like, wait a second, isn't pot legal? I'm not the source on this, but I thought it was legal. Maybe that's not every state, or maybe it's just the gummy. I don't even know. But I thought pot was legal, but maybe you can't have it in a car. Maybe it's not legal. I know they crossed state lines, so they were in Tennessee. Maybe it's different there, but I was like, what? And then I'm like, how were they able to search the car? Don't you need, like, cause? Like, they didn't break in. They weren't speeding, so they're like, get out, let me search it. How were the cops able to search the car? All these questions I had, but I guess it really doesn't matter because Brian, off to the pokey, going in the slammer, arrested for frickin' having pot. They called it, and I, gullible as is, I thought he was going to be a good guy and all this. He can report on he can actually report on his own self on the news. Because isn't he a news reporter? Oof, 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 oof. Because this story's got to make the news. Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. And then Amy's at the hospital, supposedly going to get stitched up from the camel bite, and they come in and start reading her rights, I guess, and she's going to get arrested too. Oh, good God. Insert the lovely pic. Yeah, this was a shit show. This was a shit show. Brian, not all he's cracked up to be, you know, not thinking about her boys, because why do you have pot? That, you know, that is not thinking of her boys first and having your wits about you so that you can care for them. No, loser.
And, you know, it didn't dawn on me that he was arrested till they were reading me my rights, basically. I was like, what the am I being arrested for? I'm the one that got bit. They should be handcuffing the damn camel. I went from a beautiful day of spending time with the boys to me being in jail.
Yep, that kind of sums it up. Crap. But anyway, I follow this nonsense every week, so if you want to follow along, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you next week. Bye.